I'm telling you right now, this whole General Hospital mess with Lulu, Britt and Cullum, it ain't just another soap twist. Nah, this one hits different because it drags everybody into that ugly grey place where right and wrong kind of stop mattering for a second. Like, I keep sitting with this thought and it bugs me in the best way. Lulu is about to cross a line she probably swore to herself she'd never even walk near. She's not going to Cullum's hospital room through the front door, not with permission, not with some neat legal excuse. Nope, she's sneaking in because desperation does that to people. It makes them sloppy, makes them bold too, weirdly enough. And as a mum, I can actually see the logic even when it's messed up. Because this isn't random curiosity. Her son, Rocco, Dante and Lulu's kid, is the one who shot Cullum. That part alone changes the whole temperature of the story for me. I don't even look at Lulu like some villain walking into a crime scene. I see a mother spiraling, trying to get ahead of disaster before the whole thing blows up and buries her son's future. And yeah, I know, legally that's rotten. Morally too, maybe. But emotionally, it feels raw and ugly in a way that makes sense. I keep imagining Lulu moving down that hospital hallway, probably heart banging against her ribs, every footstep sounding louder in her head than it really is. The kind of sneaking where your brain keeps yelling, turn back, but your body's already committed. She needs to know Cullum's condition. If he wakes up and talks, Rocco's life changes forever. That's prison, scandal, Dante's heartbreak, family destruction, Jason's case unraveling all over again, everything. So yeah, Lulu goes, and then, man, this is where it gets wild in that dark, soapy way I kinda love. She walks in expecting maybe machines beeping, maybe Cullum unconscious, maybe a nurse charting something. Instead, she sees something she should never have seen. Britt. And Britt isn't standing there looking worried. Nah, Britt's jaw is tight, teeth damn near grinding, and she's got a syringe in her hand loaded with poison, not medicine, not something innocent she can explain away later. Straight up death in a needle. The image of Britt leaning over Cullum's chest and driving that syringe in, whew, that's brutal television right there. I gotta be honest, from my point of view, Britt's motive almost tracks in that cold soap opera logic. If Britt already knows Cullum attacked Marco and caused Marco's death, then in her mind, this is justice. Twisted justice, sure, but still justice. And it goes deeper than revenge. Cullum is also the perfect dead scapegoat. Once he dies, so many loose ends get buried with him. The truth about Jason going to prison? Easier to pin on a dead man. Questions about Marco? Dead end. Anything that could circle back to bigger players? Gone. That's what makes Britt scary here. Not rage, but calculation. She's not acting messy. She's acting efficient. And honestly, that's what gives this whole thing that nasty little edge. Because when somebody kills out of blind anger, there's chaos. But when they kill because they've already thought through the cleanup, yeah, that's ice cold. What really fries my brain though is the timing. It feels like Britt moves at the exact second Cullum starts waking up. Like maybe his eyes flicker, maybe his fingers twitch against the sheets, maybe there's that slow soap opera realization that he's about to say something. A name, a clue, maybe even the truth. And before any of that can happen, boom, Britt strikes. That's when Lulu sees it all. I picture her just frozen there, mouth hanging open, the whole room going weirdly silent in her head except for the monitor sounds. That kind of shock where your body forgets what to do. And then Britt does the thing that turns Lulu from witness into accomplice. She pushes her, tells her to hold Cullum down. Tie him to the bed if he fights it. And this part, this is the piece I keep chewing on because it says so much about fear. Lulu should say no. Any decent person should, but this ain't about decency anymore. This is about survival, family, panic, maternal instinct, and that ugly, selfish streak people get when the person they love most is in danger. So from my angle, Lulu doesn't even need much convincing. Because the second Britt says it, Lulu realizes the horrifying truth. If Cullum dies tonight, Rocco stays safe longer. Maybe forever. That's it. That's the trap. And once that thought lands, everything else probably gets real blurry. I can almost hear her telling herself it's not murder if she's just helping. Not really doing the stabbing, not really choosing the poison, just holding him still. But come on, that's still blood on your hands. And that's why this storyline actually has something kind of educational buried in all the soap chaos. I always think stories like this hit hardest when they show how people don't become monsters in one big dramatic leap. It's usually one tiny justification at a time. First, it's, I just need answers. Then it's, I'll just stay quiet. Then it's, I'll only help for a second. And suddenly you're part of a murder. That progression matters because it's real human psychology. Exaggerated for TV, sure, but rooted in something true. Fear makes people rationalize anything. Lulu's not helping Britt because she trusts Britt. She's helping because Cullum alive is a threat to Rocco. That's the whole ugly math. And from my own personal read on it, that's what makes Lulu way more interesting than if she just stayed heroic and clean. People are messy, parents especially. A lot of mums and dads would swear they'd never cover for their kid, but when the nightmare is standing right in front of them, man, people do wild things. The silence after Cullum dies is going to be just as important as the death itself. Because Lulu won't tell anyone. Not Dent. Not Jason. Probably not even herself in any honest way. And definitely not Britt. That part right there is sneaky genius storytelling. Lulu is hiding two crimes at once now. The present crime, helping Britt kill Cullum. The older secret, Rocco was the one who shot him in the first place, the thing that got Jason locked up. So now Lulu's trapped in layers of lies, and lies stack weird. One starts leaning on the next until the whole thing's shaky as hell. I can already imagine her scenes after this being all jumpy and off balance, snapping at people, over-explaining random stuff, getting paranoid every time Britt walks into a room, because Britt becomes dangerous in a whole new way. Not just because she killed someone, but because now she owns a piece of Lulu too. That kind of shared crime creates this nasty bond, like they're tied together whether they like each other or not. And if I'm looking at the moral side of it, and I always kind of do, I think the takeaway here is less about soap murder and more about what secrecy costs. Every lie told to protect, someone creates a bigger blast radius. Rocco may be safe today, sure. But what happens when he learns his mum helped kill the man he shot? That kind of protection can wreck a kid worse than the truth. That's the tragic irony sitting underneath all the drama. Lulu thinks she's saving her son. I'm not even sure she realizes she may be destroying what's left of his innocence too. Because secrets in families don't stay buried. They leak, they rot, they change how people love each other. And Dante, whew, when that truth comes out, because in soaps it always comes out, this man is going to be shattered. Not just because of Rocco, because Lulu chose murder-level secrecy over trusting him. That betrayal is going to sting harder than the original shooting. I also keep circling back to Britt's emotional state because she's not just evil for evil's sake here. If Marco's death is sitting on her conscience and Cullum is the reason, then Britt probably sees this as balancing the scales. Street justice, vigilante nonsense, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes grief makes smart people do dumb, permanent things. That's another real-life lesson hidden in the madness. Acting in the hottest moment of pain can lock in consequences you can't undo. Britt may think she's cleaning up a problem. Instead, she may be creating the witness, Lulu, who eventually destroys her. Except now Lulu's dirty too, so even exposing Britt means exposing herself and Rocco. See? That's the kind of tangled writing I eat up. Nobody gets out clean. Everybody's compromised. Everybody's got motive. Everybody's kind of gross morally, and somehow that makes it feel more human, not less. By the end of this, what sticks with me most is Lulu's choice, not the syringe, not Britt's rage, not even Cullum dying. It's that 1 second where Lulu decides not to stop it. That's the soul of the whole story. Sometimes evil isn't what you do firsthand. Sometimes it's what you allow because it helps your side. And honestly, that's the scariest part. Because I can totally hear Lulu justifying it in that broken, half-rushed way people do when they're drowning in guilt. I didn't have a choice. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Let Rocco lose his whole life over one mistake? I couldn't. And that unfinished thought, that stumbling excuse, says everything. This story works because it forces me to ask the uncomfortable thing. How far would I go if it was my family? That's where the real punch is. Not the murder. The justification. The slow, shaky, human way somebody talks themselves into becoming part of something awful. And yeah, that's one hell of a General Hospital spoiler.